Celestial Fruit. Once upon a time, there was a man who was completely obsessed with the search for truth. He was so determined to find it that he alternately spent his time in praying to be granted truth and following any clue which he might hear of about it. But so anxious was this man to find truth that he did not bother himself to try to improve his own ways of thinking, and he would never stay long enough with one teacher to learn all that he could teach him. Always someone else seemed to beckon. One day, this man was walking through the streets of Istanbul when he saw a man in luminescent green walk into a mosque. He remembered that it was said that such a man might be Khidr, and that one should seize his garment and ask him to grant a favor. He went into the mosque, found Khidr near a pillar, held onto his sleeve, and said, "Great Khidr, man of beyond, grant me the vision of truth." Khidr looked at him and said gently, "You are not ready for truth yet." But the man insisted, and Khidr said, "Since you have seized my sleeve, and because some may one day benefit from your story, I shall let you experience truth, but your fate will be upon your own head." Khidr conducted the seeker to a certain house. There, in a special room, they spent some time in contemplation. Then Khidr took the eager disciple to meet a mysterious robed figure, dressed like a king, and together they travelled in a mysterious boat for illimitable distances, visiting places which one could never describe, and seeing things which man has in the past only dreamed about, but which really do exist in the reality of realities. One day the man said to the king, "I feel I would like to return to visit my kindred and see how man has behaved since I have been away." The king said, "Holy Khidr, my representative, has already told you that you were not ready for truth. Now you have arrived at the condition in which you may find that you have not understood that there is the eternal and the temporary. If you return now, you will find that there is seemingly nothing left of what you knew." "What talk is this?" asked the man. "For was it not only a few months ago that I left my own village? May I not see my own family again? How can things change in such a space of time?" The king said, "You will find out, but you will never now be able to return to us, and truth, although you have found it, is of no use to you. Perhaps if others can hear of these facts through you, however, it may help you in some way at some time." With these cryptic remarks, he gave the disciple a celestial fruit, saying, "Eat this when you have no other course open to you." And he instructed one of his lieutenants to return the traveller to his home. When he arrived there, he found that endless ages had passed. His house was a ruin, and there was hardly anyone who could understand his language. People crowded around him, and he told them his story. They thought that he was either a deranged saint or someone who had descended from heaven. He could make nothing of the mystery as to why he had not himself aged during what turned out to be many thousands of years' absence. And so, in his perplexity and dissatisfaction, he ate the celestial fruit. No sooner was it in his stomach than he started to become old, and before the eyes of the people who had found him, he died of old age. Now there are only a few people who remember this story, and they all imagine that it is nothing more than a legend.